Yo, what's up YouTube? After my last video, the Solo Cash Cup, I realized there was a break from tournaments scheduled during the holidays. Because I wanted to keep some videos going during this time, I figured it would be fun to do a bit of coaching and share some knowledge I have with you guys. The person I'm coaching today is my friend Carson B, and he just started playing tournaments again. I noticed that Carson had quite a few deaths in the mid-game in his Solo Cash Cup opens, so I decided we should focus on talking about how to make mid-game as easy as possible. If you guys have any other topics you want to hear my thoughts on, let me know in the comments. Alright, thanks for watching and let's get into it. Yeah, so I mean, you've basically gone center third and you're just chilling, right? This is what I was saying you should do, just go center and sit in a box. Yeah, so the zones have kept pulling more, like, away from you. I think that you should, like, when these zones kept pulling away from you, I think you should have gone more center and boxed up there. Because I don't think
you'll relocate?
Yeah, you're not pulling this next zone, which is going to cause problems because people are ahead of you.
Okay, that makes sense.
Anytime your edge zone is, in these early zones, zone is going to pull into center, and then everyone who is center can hold you or key you or grief you.
Okay, okay.
Because it's just going to keep going center. Let's see. Oh wow, you got a lucky pool here. But yeah, see how that could have been bad? And then for this,
towards like reckless.
For this zone again, this is where it gets more complicated because this zone, the next one after this, is going to go anywhere on the edge, right? It's going to be half in storm and half not. So that means if you're on edge, you have a really tiny chance of pooling, and it would be great if you get it. But if you don't, it's going to be really bad because you have to go across the whole thing. So for this zone, I don't actually know what zone it is because the counter is bugged. But for this one where it goes, the next one is going half in storm. You should be center because then no matter where it pools, you're going to have an easy rotate to the next one. There's going to be like nobody ahead of you. You just basically up to this point, you should just go center every zone like as reasonably as possible. Because you got pretty lucky pulling this zone, and I bet you don't pull the next zone, and it could be bad if people around you wanted to grief. You kind of want to play the game. You want to play the game by limiting how people can grief you as much as possible. And on this zone where it's going to go half into storm and you could easily not pull it, you could get griefed pretty hard on this rotate. Yeah, so zone goes to your right, which isn't bad. But see, you have to rotate past a ton of people who can easily shoot you, grief you, and nobody does, which is lucky, but it's not the way you want to be set up. And then it's expanding. I think you could take more expanding, go into where it's expanding and get refarm potentially.
Okay.
Since zone is going into where nobody was, if you go up here, there's going to be rocks and stuff you can farm. It's not really a big deal though, but I would definitely do it since you don't have max mats. Like if you had gone, you go back here, you could go into Hazy Hillside, refarm an entire building, and get max brick again. Pretty much nobody does it every zone. And then see here, because you weren't center, you kind of had to come in on edge on this one again. Everyone was ahead of you. Now zone's going to go far again. You didn't go deeper into zone. You're like on edge again. You didn't try to get any more center, so now this rotate's going to be very griefable again.
So my thought process here was I knew I needed surge.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I was trying to get some shots.
It's good to go for that there, yeah. But you see how this rotate easily? It takes one person and you're out of this game.
Yeah.
Because
there's so many people around me as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Any one of these kids can grief for surge, whatever they need to kill, and you're not going to be able to make this rotate easily at all. If you had just gone center every zone. Like I did, see I got full center on this zone, right? This rotate's going to be easy for me because I just have to grapple like 3 times. Versus you on edge, you're surrounded by people. You could easily get griefed here, but it looks like you don't, which is good. Let's see how you rotate at least. Yeah, you want to go when people are going, which is good that you do that. See, like that kid could fry you. This kid's not going. Probably don't run through a bush if you haven't shot it first. And again, while you're rotating, I think you should be doing 360s like constantly. It's what I call being juiced up. Like you're just spinning constantly, and then you can build walls towards anyone who looks like they want to shoot you. For this part of the rotate, I think Were you trying to go to the right because it's where the expanding side was and you thought there'd be less people there? Or
Uh,
were you just trying to go by the buildings?
I think I was just trying to get to zone. I think that if I had the buildings, I could use them as cover better.
So this is a
And
this is kind of a more complicated thing, but you actually probably should have just white lined here because by rotating on edge, where are people always at? They're always on edge, right?
mhm.
And you came up here on edge. You stayed on edge this entire time, which meant you had to go past way more people than you needed to. If you had just white lined, it would have been much easier. But you stay on edge this entire time, which gets you trapped with all these other people who are on edge, right?
Yeah.
If you had just white lined from over here, like you have to go past way fewer people. Pretty much any time you're in the center of zone, you're going to be going past fewer people than when you're on edge. So just stay center every zone. Like as much as reasonably possible. In games like this where there's surge and it's stacked, people are towered up and stuff, like it can be more difficult, but it's really not, it's really easily doable actually, especially with grapplers. It just takes like one grapple to get ahead of somebody who's holding you. And then you're center
So
again.
I hear a guy chasing me, so I wanted to hide,
Yeah,
and then a guy comes
so
from nowhere.
like we could talk about like that's not a good that's not a good time to stop, right? You need to force this rotate.
Mhm.
See, and then you're coming in late because everything, and you could easily die from spray here. But I think the more fundamental thing is just that it's like not even your fault from this point in the game. It's just that you were on edge, which means that your rotates are gonna keep being hard. Like your rotates are
Yeah.
just gonna be hard for the rest of the game. So we could watch the end game, but I'm assuming it's just like a pretty simple thing that gets you killed.
So instead of just trying to rush to zone, I
Yeah.
should be focusing on getting that mid of zone.
What do you mean trying to rush to zone?
Like I remember when I got my second place in opens, I just insta rushed to the side of zone and I just camped in the side of zone. Should I be aiming more towards the middle every time?
Um, yeah, so zone is gonna keep pulling center, right? So if you get center, you're not gonna have to move for most of the game. And then
Okay.
when it goes like a little off center, you can just go to it easily again because there's gonna be nobody ahead of you. You're not on edge. Playing edge is like there are advantages, especially in surge lobbies, but in solos, like it's always better to just be center. Like it's so easy. No one's gonna be holding you every single rotate up to endgame. And here, yeah, I think you waited a little too long to go for this rotate. And then at this point, you just need to find a refresh. Like you need to play super aggressively for it. So in this position, I would be looking. If I were you, I would be looking to jump in someone's box, because only 40
Okay.
builds, no shield. You need to kill really badly. Someone jumps into your box. Yeah, so what were you trying to do here? Were you trying to shoot this guy so you could jump on him, or?
I was just trying to get surge so I could
Oh
play
yeah,
farther
that's
into the
fair.
game.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I think that you're kind of on backside here because you got an unlucky pool. So you're kind of facing the entire lobby when you open this. So
Yeah.
like if you had just walled this off, this would have been fine. But yeah, someone just runs at your face. So, do you want to see my mid game real quick?
Sure.
And I can show you what I'm talking about since I was in here. Let's see. It's just get your loot, get your mats, and then just center every zone. There is like a slight complication where you kind of want to play on edge third to get your cash because that's where it's going to be most likely to spawn. But other than that and after that, you should just be going center every zone. So I'm getting my loot off spawn, getting my mats early in the game. I have to go into Hazy Hillside, like I said, because I didn't have enough loot off spawn. So I'm immediately looking to re-loot something, even though it's like dangerous. People landed here, you know. You have to take the risk. And then I have my max mats and max shield, so I just go to center zone and I just box up.
Okay.
It's just this simple. Center zone, box up, right?
Yeah.
Don't have to move. Nobody's gonna be holding me. Look at this zone. If you're on edge right here, like you're gonna have a bad time. People are gonna shoot you, whatever. And I did get lucky because I'm pooling center, but like I would have rotated to center earlier, right? It's not like it's not a big difference. So just chilling. Don't have to do anything. Chilling. Then I slightly didn't pool center here, but it's not a big enough deal that I think I need to force more center.
Yeah.
Just chilling. Literally on my phone. Versus you were on edge and then you slightly didn't pool, so you have to rotate past people, and it could have been a problem, right? Like yeah, that's just where your game can go wrong, and I'm sure it has happened to you. So I don't pool center here. Just instantly go insta grapple, grapple. Just keep grappling.
And you're always looking around. I can see that.
Yeah, constant 360 to see who can shoot me, and then I get pretty center and just box up. So I have a 0% chance of pulling the next zone here, but it doesn't matter because I'm gonna have an easy rotate to it no matter what, right? Because I'm center, I'm gonna have a relatively short rotate, and I can usually just do it pretty early. So I'm just waiting for the zone. Goes to my right. Let's go, right? Look around for 1 second, make sure no one's gonna shoot me, and then let's go. Get as center as I reasonably could have, because I don't want to go up the hill, because there's too many people stopping me at this point.
Yeah.
But like at this point, like I've had a very easy game, right? And I didn't do anything hard. All I did was just go center over and over. And then let's see. At this point, it's a lot more complicated, or it's not as simple because everyone is stacked together. It's a stacked game. There's surge. It's finals, but in an opens game, if you're doing this, you're probably not gonna have any problem just instantly going center here again.
Okay.
So yeah, I force. This is like unfortunate that the zone did this to everybody. Like this was a rough rotate for everyone in the lobby. And then yeah, I grapple and a kid maxes me, but that's unfortunate. But like you saw, my mid game for the most part was like super easy, right?
Yeah. You didn't really do anything.
Yeah, you don't do anything. It's just go center, early zones, box up, go center, box up, box up, box up. Every zone that pools, just go center and box up until that zone where it goes halfway into storm. And on that one, you just go center and box up again. It's like you're not gonna have a problem rotating that one early since you're center. Everyone else is gonna be edge. Like you're not gonna be the one having a tough time there. All right.
What the heck was that?
What do you think?
I agree. So
good lesson. Good lesson. I feel like with that, like you won't have mid game deaths outside of if you get keyed while in that box, right? And you can do like a strat to hide in the box, like hide in the cone. Carson, what do you think? Good lesson? W lesson?
I think it's a great lesson.
I feel like
my friend came in my room and started moaning.
no, you're good. I see a lot of like mid game deaths in your tournament, so I feel like with that, like if you have a good off spawn, like I feel like you're gonna make end game like every game with that. Alright guys, that was how to make mid-game easy, and I hope you learned something from today's video. If you guys want to hear my thoughts on anything else, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.